You cannot hear your soul in constant noise. You cannot discern vision while drowning in distraction. You cannot embody mastery if you are enslaved to reaction. Silence is where the voice of your soul grows loud enough to guide you. This is why savage self mastery is inseparable from silence, because true mastery is not proven in constant noise, it is revealed in your ability to hold your ground in stillness. Yes. Cheers to you. Cheers to me. And may we each remain in our highest evolved reality. With you being here right now, I know that you have answered the call in harmony, in love, and in purity. It also means you've been magnetized to me right here, right now, in this moment for truth, for balance, and because you're ready for high vibrational bliss. And you are definitely a part of my soul tribe. You are my high vibing collect. So welcome. I'm Dr. Darlinda Z, and the Enhermost Alchemist are entering Soldom. So let's get to it. Details are in the description box below. So, episode 6. The Weight of Silence, Finding Power in the Unspoken Realms. We live in a world addicted to noise. Every platform demands a hot take. Every room demands a response. Every silence is treated like weakness, absence, or defeat. But here is the paradox: silence is not emptiness, silence is substance, silence is strategy, silence is power. There is a weight to silence, not the heavy burden of suppression, but the sacred gravity of alignment. In silence, you hear the whispers of your own soul. In silence, you access wisdom no noise can give you. In silence, you embody the essence of savage self mastery. The misinterpretation of silence. Silence is often misunderstood. They say, if you don't speak, you do not matter. They say, if you don't react, you're weak. They say, if you do not post, you don't exist. But silence does not mean absence. Silence does not mean ignorance. Silence does not mean defeat. Sometimes silence is refusal to waste energy, refusal to dignify chaos, refusal to be pulled out of alignment. Sometimes silence is preservation, preserving your mental peace, preserving your focus, preserving your sacred energy for what actually matters. And sometimes silence is preparation, the quiet before the reveal, the stillness before the breakthrough, the inhale before the roar, the strategic silence of mastresses and masters. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and creators understood silence not as weakness, but as weapon. The master's strategist knows that not every move must be broadcast. The seasoned negotiator knows that silence in the room often shifts the entire deal. The visionary knows that silence creates space for revelation. When you practice silence, you are not withholding, you are welding. This is why savage self mastery is inseparable from silence, because true mastery is not proven in constant noise. It is revealed in your ability to hold your ground in stillness. The noise of the world versus the voice of the soul. Noise is external, silence is internal. Noise is chaotic, demanding, distracting. Silence is clarifying, centering, refining. You cannot hear your soul in constant noise. You cannot discern vision while drowning in distraction. You cannot embody mastery if you are enslaved to reaction. Silence is where the voice of your soul grows loud enough to guide you. Silence is where clarity sharpens. Silence is where you remember what you already carry. The courage to be silent. Silence takes courage. It takes courage not to clap back when you are provoked. It takes courage not to reveal everything when the world demands your secrets. It takes courage to sit in stillness when distraction feels easier. But this is what savage self mastery demands: the savage courage to say, I do not owe the world constant access to my energy, my voice, or my process. Courageous silence is not passivity, it is authority. It is the declaration that you will not be rushed, baited, or manipulated. The healing silence. Silence is not only strategy, silence is medicine. When the body rests, it heals. When the mind quiets, it restores. When the soul breathes in silence, it remembers. There are wounds you cannot talk away. There are burdens you cannot debate away. There are traumas you cannot argue away. But silence gives the soul room to stitch, to soothe, to regenerate. The weight of silence is heavy because it carries restoration. Silence as resistance. Sometimes silence itself is rebellion. In a world that profits from your distraction, your silence is resistance. In a culture that monetizes your attention, your silence is revolution. In a society that expects you to perform endlessly, your silence is refusal. When you retreat into silence, you reclaim your sovereignty. You declare that your mind is not for sale. Your spirit is not up for a negotiation. Your destiny not dictated by noise. Practical dimensions of silence. So, how do we cultivate the weight of silence in daily life? Digital silence, logging off, muting chaos, refusing to scroll yourself into despair, into oblivion. Relational silence, choosing not to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Creative silence, protecting the incubation of ideas before exposing them to premature critique or those who try to copy, mimic, or steal from you. Spiritual silence, meditating, journaling, breathing, mindfulness, letting the unseen whisper louder than the seen. Emotional silence, resisting the urge to react immediately, giving yourself space to respond with mastery instead of impulse. Silence is not neglect. Silence is nourishment. The balance of silence and voice. Now, let me be clear. Silence does not mean muteness. There is a time to speak, a time to roar, and a time to disrupt. If you only ever speak, if you only ever roar, if you never enter silence, your words lose their weight. It is the alteration of silence and speech that creates resonance. It is silence that makes your words thunder when you finally release them. It is silence that gives your voice gravity when you decide to use it. Silence and legacy. Silence is not just personal, it is legacy. Because in your silence, you model restraint, you model alignment, you model the discipline to wait for the right moment. The next generation will not only inherit your words, they will inherit your relationship with silence. Teach them that noise is not power, alignment is. Teach them that silence is not weakness, silence is wisdom. Teach them that stillness is not absence, stillness is mastery. In closing, my final word. This is the truth. The world may clamor for your constant noise, but your destiny requires your sacred silence. Do not be afraid of it. Do not run from it. Do not misinterpret it. Embody it. Wield it. Protect it. Because silence carries weight. Silence carries wisdom. Silence carries power. This is episode 6. This is the weight of silence. finding power in the unspoken realms. As always, that is it. That is all. There isn't any more right now. Tuning from a different frequency with Dr. Darlinda Z, the Innermost Alchemist. Until next time.